Hi everyone, welcome back to Naomi's Bookshelf. Today we are doing my Agatha Christie review of these three. So over April and May, I read three Agatha Christies. I read Murder Mesopotamia, N or M, and The Secret of Chimneys. So we're going to talk about them in spoiler-free first and then spoilers. I have some feelings about some of them, some good, some bad. Let's talk. So the first one I read was Murder Mesopotamia. This one I read with Berna from Berna's Bookish Adventures and Tiffany from Beautiful Minutia. Sorry, Tiffany. I keep stumbling over my words. This one was good. I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. I think that this one is a really crafty way of showing a location and really not too much of the information while also making you curious. So this one is really about a nurse, and let me try to remember her name. I've read a lot of books since reading this one. This one's called, her name is Amy, and she has been commissioned by a doctor named Dr. Leidner. Now, Dr. Leidner, he is very worried about his wife, as Louise she's struggling with some mental health issues, it looks like, and those around her on the archaeologist site are very concerned about what's going on. So he has hired Amy to come and basically be a personal caregiver and just watch over her for a time being while they all get back to work, essentially, and he can stop worrying about her. Now, over the time there, she starts seeing some things going on, but at the very beginning of the book, you hear that she has been commissioned to write the thoughts of what happened during her time at this location, at this archaeologist site, and how she views the events that happened with this particular archaeologist team. I thought it was really well crafted. I really enjoyed the different aspects of the archaeology, as I know that Agatha Christie, she was married to an archaeologist, so she definitely had firsthand experience seeing that, and I thought it was really interesting. Of course, Agatha Christie throws in lots of red herrings. She often has many different people involved. She loves to have different side crimes as well that you are suspicious of, but you can't really pinpoint who's going on with what and what crimes are happening. I really enjoyed this one, and I'll talk about more spoilers in a little bit. Next, I read N or M. This is one of the first things I picked up, actually one of the first thing I picked up in May, but I didn't finish it right away as I read it with Janelle from Too Fond of Books, and we read it over the course of 5 days. She and I really enjoyed this one. I loved this espionage aspect. This is a Tommy and Tuppence book, and my only previous experience with Tommy and Tuppence was I'm forgetting it now. It was the other one that I hated last year, and I didn't know what to expect walking in with this one. I knew it was well known, I knew it was well loved, but I knew I didn't like Tommy and Tuppence previously, so I wasn't sure if it was going to be a good one or a bad one for me, and I ended up really enjoying it. I gave it 4 stars. Now, this one follows Tommy and Tuppence as they are not both commissioned necessarily, but at the beginning of the book, Tommy is given this commission to be a spy essentially and try to find the leaking of information to the Germans. Now, he has been given this mission and he is sent to this little B&B, this little house, and when he goes there, he discovers that Tuppence has already gone because she overheard the conversation intentionally, and she's not going to be left out of the deal. It's such a great relationship between the two of them. I love their relationship. And of course, the whole point of the title is the fact that the mission that they are going on is they need to find out these 2 people. They need to find out N and the person M. So these 2 characters that are going by these code names. I thought it was really clever, and I really enjoyed the mystery aspect. But more than that, I loved the spy element. I love a good espionage book, and I loved how it all works out. I think with Agatha Christie though, because there was so long until a body appeared, I was like, where's the body? Where's the body? Because you always are looking for a body in Agatha Christie. but I really did enjoy it. And then once I was like, it doesn't matter if there's not a body, I really did enjoy it. The other one I read was The Secret of Chimneys. I read it with Kevy. I'll link their channel down below. It was a bit of disappointment for me. I was rereading it and I had completely forgotten everything about it except for the fact that it was about letters and that it was something about Superintendent Battle. That's all I remembered about this one. And I love Superintendent Battle. Let me just tell you, I love Superintendent Battle. And I think he's just so underrated. And I will defend him always. He's just so clever. And he's just so like quietly clever. And that's why I think he just doesn't get as much like press as Miss Marple does or Poirot, because they're just like over the top. And I just think that Superintendent Battle is just so much quieter about it, but he's just so good. Anyways, this one follows several different things going on at the same time. This one is one of her very early works, and I think you can tell when the book starts, it's just like, it's very mumbled jumbled together. So it follows several characters as they are going through some things. So at the very beginning, you have Anthony Cade, I want to say. Yeah, Anthony Cade. He is reading this manuscript and it gets stolen from him. And then right after that, you get these letters that are shown to Virginia Revel, and she's being blackmailed for them, but they aren't her letters. And they are very scandalous in nature. And then later on, their body is revealed and it kind of ties them together. And then they are later going to an event at this home, which is called Chimneys. And it just kind of goes from there. It's all very espionage and very international affairs. Superintendent Battle is there because there's another body that appears at, or not another body, but another murder happens. A second murder happens at Chimneys, and it's just a series of events. And it was a good mystery. I'm not taking away from that. It was a very well plotted mystery. However, due to personal triggers, I did not like how it resolved itself. And I cannot give it as much love as other people have for that. So I am not pleased with the way this one ended. Now, I do give credit to how all of these things ended up, and I think it was just fine in that regard. I do think that if you are wanting to read this, you just need to push through the first little chunk because it is a good mystery. It's just not a good start. Like, it's just not a good start. So there's that. Okay, let's get into spoilers. I've been talking a little while now about these, actually. All right, spoilers. Let's start with Murder Mesopotamia. So with this one, I think the biggest red herring was all the father, the priest, he was just so obviously like guilty of something. And then when there's someone who's obviously guilty, you just know not to like think that they're the guilty person. But I just never suspected the husband. I never suspected the doctor, Dr. Leidner. I just never suspected him to be the one who actually killed his wife, which also I think was really great with this book was that this book never clarifies on the back who dies. You never know who's going to die. And then she doesn't die until like pretty far in. So you never know if it's her who's going to die, if it's someone else who's going to die, like Louise dying. You just don't know who's going to die. And I think that just builds suspense in a great way. I think that was really interesting and I really enjoyed this one. I don't really have too many spoilers because of that. I didn't have overall like too many passionate feelings about this one. It was either really great or like I didn't guess the ending and I didn't like hate the ending. I thought it was really well done and I really enjoyed this one. And then Poirot bringing all the suspects together so we could read all their attention. And then also with Dr. Leidner being just, just so evil and like toying with his wife's emotions for so many years. And like, it was just awful. So I really did like this one though. Do recommend it if you have not read it and you went into spoilers about it. Next is N or M. And for spoilers about this one, I guessed that it was the single mom, and I can't remember her name. Mrs. something. I just remember like the single mom. I read a lot of books since I even picked up this one. But I was just like, no one would suspect a single mother. No one would suspect her because she's a single mom. No one would suspect that. So I'm gonna suspect her for being a single mother because it's the perfect cover. And so I was right. And I just had a gut instinct that something was off with that. She also didn't seem very motherly to me. And I was right. I knew that something was off with that relationship. And I was very happy with myself for guessing that she was the one. But I had no idea about the Colonel. No idea that he was in on it. And then the other ones, there was obviously other relationships that were obviously there. There's the tax evasion. There was the false identity. There's always these things that are going on in Christie's world. But I did love how Tommy and Tuppence were pretending not to be married. And everyone was kind of like, we're on to you. Well, not everyone. The two spies were. That was just such a clever move. And I really did like that all. I love this cover too. I think this is such a great cover for the book. I don't know where more editions are like these, but I like them a lot. And then let's talk about my real feelings, because I don't really have too many spoilers for these books. I want to talk about why I hate this ending, because that's really what the spoiler section is about, to be honest. So as someone who suffers with migraines, this book was really infuriating, because this book has someone who intentionally faked migraines to get out of being caught. And it was a good mystery, like I said earlier. But I remember ranting to Kevy, and I said, when the first time the governess had a headache or a migraine, and she was like, I can't come to dinner. I was like, it's so wonderful to see migraine rep, but if it turns out that she's faking it, I will be mad. I'll be furious, because that's making fun of a disease. And turns out that's what happened. And yeah, it was so infuriating because it's a real thing, and people like that make people not believe me, you know? And it's like, I have a real condition. Like, I have a real head problem. Like, my head really hurts all the time. And books like this make people think that it's a fake. And it's irritating when people read this or people write this and it's okay. Because, it's just a go-to when, I don't want to do something, so I'm going to pretend to have a headache. That's someone's reality. Like, just say you don't want to do it. And so it's just infuriating to me that was her excuse all the time. I'm so mad. And I can't believe I forgot this book, because that was a plot point in this. Like, that makes me so mad. Like, I can't even tell you how mad I am at Agatha Christie for writing this. Like, I feel betrayed, actually, by Agatha Christie. Because Agatha Christie's one of my favorites. Like, she is probably my favorite writer of all time. Like, I know she's problematic in some things. Like, I know, like, no one's perfect, but I know she's not perfect. But still, I feel betrayed. And it's just so frustrating because she has so many wonderful points. And the story was so good. And the mystery was so great. And the hidden identities and the everything else. But, like, seriously? You had to fake headaches? Like, you had to fake migraines. Not even just headaches. Like, migraines? You had to use that term? Like, I'm so furious. I can't. So, yeah. That's why I wanted to do spoilers in this video. Because I feel like that's where the whole premise of the book sets on, and I literally can't talk about it without being like, this is why this is probably one of my most disappointing books of the year, or most hated books of the year. It's like not a bad book, but it just, it is what it is. So yeah, that's my feelings on The Secret of Chimneys. So I finally found an Agatha Christie that made me more mad than my last Tommy Tuppence, which I think was actually, the title's coming to me now, By the Pricking of My Thumbs. Is that it? Anyways, I'm mad. So anyways, that's that. Let me get that one I threw across. I mean, I didn't throw it far, but I threw it because I was just wanting to get out my anger. Anyways, those are the 3 that I read. Let me know down below if you've read any of them, all of them. What are your thoughts? How do you like these 3? And if you have read Tommy and Tuppence or Poirot or Superintendent Battle, what do you think of these detectives? I would love to chat with you down in the comments below. Also, if you have any recommendations for any of the next Agatha Christie books that I should pick up, I own several and I am still wondering which ones I should pick up next because I don't really have a selection, like an order to pick them up in. So any recommendations would be highly appreciated. I hope that you will like this video if you enjoyed it and subscribe if you are new here. I will talk to you in my next video. Bye for now.